What's up, guys? Welcome back. Today we are playing with a drugstore priced clean beauty foundation that a lot of you guys have been requesting. It is the Goodness Glows liquid makeup from BURT'S. I have been pretty anti-BURT'S up until this point because I was under the impression, and I could be wrong, but that they were one of those clean brands that wasn't cruelty-free, and now they are cruelty-free, or maybe they always were. I don't know. I don't know everything about everything, but I am testing this not for the first time. This is not a first impression, but we are going to be doing a full day wear test on this. It is pretty full coverage. I don't really think that Goodness Glows is the term here because it's pretty matte as well, but I have been liking full coverage a little bit more lately. I have been mainly wearing the Lawless Woke Up Like This foundation recently. I did not expect to love this foundation, and this is not the point of the video, Lawless, but this has become my favorite every single day, and I feel like my skin is clearer for it. And then I also have a new setting spray, yay! I know that if you're new here, you're probably like, who cares? But I've been having some trouble finding a clean setting spray, and I was watching Tati, and she was raving about this as kind of a luxury item. It is the Onomie Radical Setting Mist, and I have been using the Onomie Lip and Cheek for a while, but I did not know that they had a setting mist, and you get like an enormous amount of product for your money. We'll talk about this as well. Let me move you guys in. We will start putting some makeup on my face, and I'm going to tuck my hair behind my ears. Otherwise, I'm going to be very irritated editing this while I am touching my hair the entire time. So let's do it. Oh wow, that is such a good look. So we have the, like I said, BURT'S Goodness Glows liquid makeup with responsibly sourced meadow foam in the shade 1005 Porcelain. I bought this off of Amazon, and so I don't think I maybe guessed all that well on my shade match because this is a little bit light. I was going to self-tan today, and I was like, do I really want to increase the contrast? I don't know. So right now on my skin, I have some SPF, I have the polypeptide, and then I have some of the C Firma Day Serum, but I always want to test this on top of any foundation. I want to test on top of an SPF just because that's going to be how I will wear it, and so if it doesn't fit into my lifestyle, it's still a pass, even if that's not how it's intended to be worn, kind of thing. You can see it's a little bit light. It's not that big of a deal though. I can bronze up. As it goes on though, you can see it the coverage is not as full as you would think a makeup of this texture would be. If you are going to use something that has a matte finish to it, or a satin finish to it even, you assume when you're putting it on that it's going to have more even coverage than this. I think that, you know, if something's gonna have variable coverage to it, I would want it to behave a little bit more like skin, because you're gonna see the contrast between the textures. I wonder if my sponge is just too damp? I don't know. Maybe a sponge is like not the answer here. We'll talk about the shade range and everything too. This was just kind of one of those afterthought kind of purchases where I had gone all the way to 2 Targets to try and find it to get myself shade matched, and neither of them had it in stock. I just kind of took a wild guess while I was ordering a few other things on Amazon. So you guys can actually see better than I can right now. So the blending is probably exposing me. Chalky, a little bit chalky, and my sponge is like the ideal dryness right now, so I'm just gonna kind of try and warm that up with my skin, but it's removing product as much as it is putting it on, which is a little irritating because I'm a-okay with whatever coverage level this thing wants to have. I'm just trying to kind of ask it what it wants, and it doesn't want to tell me. In person, the color isn't that bad, but I can see in my monitor the way that the light is reflecting off of it. It doesn't have any SPF in it, so I don't know why it's necessarily reflecting that way. You know, you can still see the heck out of my melasma. I'm gonna see if we can layer it a little bit. Not typical of me. Usually my foundation is the thing that takes the least time in my entire routine. There, done. It's picking product up. That makes me crazy. So you try and layer it up, and I'm being so light and gentle, and you end up with it skipping and what's the word? Like pulling patches off in the shape of the sponge, which is super irritating. It just won't go on evenly. And I don't have anything weird on my skin. I didn't try and prime or anything like that. I never prime when I test a new foundation because I've seen it mess up wear tests before. It made the Fenty oxidize like crazy when I put a primer on under it, and so it's just not a best practice for me. I fully hate this. This is making me absolutely crazy. Is there a better way to put this on? I have like a foundation brush. Would that be better? I don't know. I wish you guys could see. I'm gonna zoom in a second and show you just kind of how poorly this is applying right now. The brush was not helping, by the way. The color match is actually the least of my worries. It's the fact that it's not giving me even coverage. Here, I will zoom in and show you. Can you see that on my cheeks? Y'all, my skin is the clearest it's been in a long time. There should be no problem getting a makeup to be really nice and even on my skin. Hey guys, I'm gonna jump in right here and tell you ahead of time, all the close-ups in this video, I don't know what it is, y'all, that lens exposed this makeup. Even, and I'll just give you a teaser, when I talk about how good the finishing spray is, the foundation is still so obviously bad in every close-up. So just try and temper your expectations, because a lot of what you see when I'm zoomed that close in on that kind of lens is not what the naked eye would necessarily see. So take it with a grain of salt. If it had looked this bad in person when I was actually putting it on, I would have just told you right then and there. But like, I can't believe how bad this looks in the close-ups, even when I thought it looked good. So just keep that in mind. And I let all of my skincare sit for a long time before I put my makeup on. And the last time I tried it, it did this too. I just thought that maybe I had done something weird that day, tried to use a primer or something like that. This is super kinda gross. Like, look how skippy that is. Oh, I swear, that's not like lack of effort doing that. Okay, we're gonna try and make this work. I'm going to conceal and stuff now, so, I'm not happy. I don't like it so far. So I'm going to go with my Pacifica Liquid Cover Full Coverage Lasting Concealer. This isn't my favorite of the clean concealers that I have tried, but it is the lightest in shade that I have, so it's actually going to have enough contrast against this really light foundation shade. It's like not even light, it's like reflective. It looks kind of sick on my skin in the monitor. In person, it doesn't look weird. Because I mean, you're used to kind of blanking out all your features with a full coverage foundation. I think that what irritates me about this the most is that, yeah, it's blanking my features out in, you know, that typical kind of like, you need more makeup kind of way, but it's not covering. It might be like a color thing, like a color correction thing that it needs to have in it, but it doesn't have whatever you would need in order to camouflage all of the darker kind of, you know, sunspots on my face, which I don't usually care about, but I feel like it's accentuating them. It's making them look gray. You guys, I got sent another beauty sponge from another company. It's like an organic company, but they don't specify what's in their sponge, whether it's silicone-free or anything. And I have been played by so many sponges that I'm like scared to use it. The Thrive sponge is the only one that I'm like, doesn't bake me out, I'm not gonna deviate. I love this sponge so much. I clean it every time I use it, every single time. I'm just like that afraid. I do love that concealer. It does disappear a little bit under my eyes and stuff. I don't think it's the best for what it says it's going to be. It's not full coverage, it's not really long wearing, but it does go on really nicely, and I feel like it's doing some magical wonders for that foundation because it was really not spreading out nicely. So that looks okay. I'm gonna put some powder on. I'm gonna go with my RMS Unpowder. Even though they call this an unpowder, I feel like it does a really good job of mattifying. Whereas QR-wise, beautiful formula, but you don't really get as much on the brush just because of the delivery system. It's in a compact kind of, you know, it's a pressed powder. It's hard to get enough to cover something that's this full coverage, I guess, you know, and I want this to really be snatched before we start putting more powder product on top of it because I don't want to drag the product around. So far, guys, this really seems like it's going after the same objective as the Pacifica Alight foundation, and so far, for the price, which they are very similarly priced, I would definitely lean more towards the Pacifica Alight foundation. Ooh, wait, I don't love that, but we're gonna try and make it work. It is just giving me pores, 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 and we talked about this. Nature was not kind to me in every way, but it did get me pretty snatched pores, and when something accentuates my pores, I'm like, that's a red flag. So, as usual in my routine, what we typically do after I do my foundation and my powder and whatnot is give it an initial spritz with a finishing spray, just to kind of set that first layer. I'm so excited! So this is awesome. It doesn't have any alcohol in it. We know that I was trying the Spellbinder from Luscious Cosmetics and it is chock full of alcohol, and I don't like it because it makes my skin really dry. This doesn't have any alcohol in it, and you get, I think it's $30, which is kind of typical for a lot of these, but you get freaking 5.1 fluid ounces of this. Like, that's insane. All right. Smells rosy. I love that. I love that. So it's supposed to be a, what, like a hydrating setting spray, which I love. So while this is setting and whatnot, I'm going to do my brows and the rest of my makeup and everything. And we will come back and we will talk about the shade range, the price, the claims, and everything. So I will be right back with you. Okay, keeping it on the real here, guys. I'm looking at myself in the monitor. This looks bomb, and I'm gonna tell you why. Because this foundation is mediocre, okay? I'm still gonna do a full wear test. We're gonna see if it improves over the day, because sometimes I do find, especially after a couple of hours, a foundation can kind of meld with your skin and just behave a lot better than it goes on initially. But the initial application was pretty frustrating. But guys, this setting spray is bomb. I am blown away right now. Not sponsored. First impression, I've now applied it twice. I applied it, like you guys saw, first on top of my foundation and concealer and powder, and then I applied it as a finishing spray. You guys, I've never seen anything melt makeup into my skin like this. It's awesome, and it's alcohol free, and it's clean, and I love it. I love it. Ah, sorry headphone wearers. It looks awesome, but it doesn't look awesome because the foundation looks awesome because of that freaking setting spray. So anyway, let's talk about the claims and the shade range and everything like that. I'm on BURT'S right now, and they've really fleshed out their entire collection. I feel like Burt's Bees, you know, used to be just a very small lip balm brand, and from what I glean from just hearsay, I haven't watched the documentary, but a lot of people have been sort of casually mentioning this documentary where Burt of Burt's Bees kind of got his whole business stolen out from under him by his business partner or his family member or something like that. I really need to watch it, but you know, there are a lot of really, really good documentaries that we've been watching lately, and so I just haven't gotten a chance yet. We watched Free Solo last night. Gah! I like lost body hydration through my hands, just sweating watching him climb El Capitan. So if you guys have not seen that, it's like $3.99 to rent it for like a month on Amazon Prime, and I would highly recommend it if you don't know anything about Alex Honnold or anything like that. It's a good one. But anyway, yeah, so looking at the foundations here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, I believe we have 18 shades here, but it does that thing where it individually sorts them. It won't show you the full shade range all at once. Actually, I am 100% wrong. When you open up each individual one, it does show you the little honeycomb of all of their shades. Guys, this actually has a pretty stinking good distribution. You know, you move past the pale shades pretty quickly, and I do feel like there is a better option for me than the porcelain. I think that the ivory is a little bit more yellow toned. So at least in my case, I feel like even though it does have fewer pale shades, there is probably something kind of for everybody here. It is a little harder with a full coverage foundation because you do need to match it a lot more closely than you would kind of lighter, dewier coverage foundation. But look at this like deep range. I feel like, you know, Cocoa being their deepest shade, that's pretty good. Obviously I'm not seeing it, you know, live in the wild, but that's a pretty good deep shade. It says our 98.9% natural full coverage liquid makeup evens and smooths skin for a radiant, natural looking finish. Made with responsibly sourced meadowfoam seed oil, known for its moisturizing benefits that gives you beautiful results inside and out. That's what it's on the bottle. Benefits and claims. 98.9% natural mineral makeup. So I use mostly, you know, makeup that has mineral pigments in it, but sometimes we do end up with that kind of uncoupling of the suspension liquid and the powder of the mineral makeup, the actual pigment itself. So we'll see if they kind of stay as one over my day or whether they start to kind of break apart. We shall see. Evens and smooths for a natural looking finish that lasts all day. Comes in 18 luminous full coverage shades that match a variety of skin tones. Never looks heavy, cakey, or greasy. Formulated without parabens, phthalates, SLS, petrolatum, synthetic fragrances, dermatologist tested, not tested on animals. Key ingredients. Meadowfoam seed oil seems to be their big plug. That's the only one they really mention. Full list, we have water, glycerin, sunflower oil, squalane, honey. Wow. Does have alcohol in it. I mean, it's a natural fragrance, but they say it has a fragrance added to it. Let's find out. Huh. I guess. I don't know why you would do that. It's really subtle, like really subtle, and it just smells like plant. How to. Let's see if we did something wrong. Shake well before use. I did shake it. Apply using fingers or your favorite application tool. I would not want to do this with my fingers just because it's a full coverage foundation. I don't know. That's just my instincts. Remove makeup with your favorite BURT'S cleanser. Okay, well, that's, you know, not really helpful. So I'm gonna zoom in again and show you guys what this looks like now with all of my makeup applied, but I'm gonna be honest, you guys, it is being made to look very high performance by this freaking setting spray. I almost feel like it's not fair. That's a beautiful finish. I am so excited about this freaking setting spray, you guys. Like, I know that's not supposed to be the point of this video, but it kind of is quickly becoming the point of this video. Nothing could save that level of patchiness, okay? You can still see all of that pigmentation. I do have a little bit of, you know, sun darkening kind of around my eyes and on my upper lip and things like that. And while perhaps choosing a shade that was a little bit more golden could have, you know, helped not cast them in like a cool tone, you know, I think that layering this makeup on top of them kind of cast them a little bit gray, and that's not really fair. But still, the coverage ain't there. They're calling this a full coverage foundation, and the coverage ain't there. I definitely don't think that it's a particularly flattering formula in terms of what it camouflages and what it doesn't, and it went on very annoyingly. It's $16.99, so it's about the same price, if not exactly the same price. This might be $16 and this is $16.99, but this is 0.9 fluid ounces and this is 1 fluid ounce. But I would definitely compare these to one another, the Alight foundation versus this, in the sense of, you know, the finish that you might expect from it. But I don't know if you guys watched that video, but when I tested this, one of the biggest things that I noticed was that when you put it on, it dried down on its own. And I think I said in that video, putting the rest of my makeup on top of it was like working on top of paper. It just completely dries down and snatches down, which can be bad for some people like me on my driest skin days. It's not necessarily going to be my go-to foundation because it's going to accentuate dryness, but if you are a full coverage matte foundation girl and you want something that's going to balance you out, this isn't so drying that it's going to make your skin overcompensate, I don't think. And we'll see how this one goes. It does not look as dry, as matte as this. So, but this has a lot fuller coverage. But they're the same price, so it's worth comparing the two. I am going to wear this for the rest of my day, and I have no problem doing that. Even though this is a full coverage foundation, I feel like it's still just a really nice, pretty weekend look. I'm okay with it. It doesn't look super, super made up. Anyway, I'm jabbering on, guys. I'm gonna check in with you guys in 8 hours, and we will see how the BURT'S Goodness Glows foundation stood up. Okay? Okay. What is up, you guys? It is the end of my day, but I'm having to call an audible here and call this the end of day one, because I think that I inadvertently made this day a love letter to my new setting spray. I have, like I said, worn this foundation one other day, and I don't remember it in detail, but I remember it being disappointing. and I wanted to do it, you know, live on camera and everything, and then I also wanted to try it with this setting spray, but the difference between the two experiences is so night and day. Like today, my skin looks amazing, and that foundation was so frustrating to apply that I just am not yet satisfied with how I feel about this foundation. I am, however, satisfied with how I feel about this setting mist. Oh my god, it's amazing. So this is not the end of the video. I'm going to wear the BURT'S again tomorrow. I'm going to wear it to work, and I'm not going to use this setting spray. I'm just going to use my regular homemade setting spray. We will see how the foundation performs when it's not under, you know, completely ideal circumstances like it was with this. You guys, we walked around the east side, I ate tacos, I blew my nose, I have been out in the humidity and like active, and I'm sorry. I want to believe, I do, but I'm sorry, BURT'S. I just don't believe that this is entirely the work of this foundation. I just want to test it without the setting spray. But guys, run, do not walk. This setting spray is incredible. So I will see you guys again at the end of my day tomorrow after I've done a full wear test of this without the setting spray, because science. Hey guys, so it is the end of day 2 of this wear test, and today I wore the BURT'S foundation without the new Onomie finishing spray. I just used my regular, where is she? My homemade finishing spray, which, like I said, is just rose water with a little bit of glycerin in it. And I don't want it to seem like I didn't want this to be a good foundation. I don't think it's a bad foundation. But having worn it one day before and then one day since, I can say very positively that this is the star of the show. This can make pretty much anything look incredible. This is not bad. I'm going to zoom in a second, but it's still performed far less optimally without that finishing spray. And you can pretty much see it, actually. I mean, you can see kind of the makeup starting to wear off in a bunch of places, kind of here, which, by the way, is not a breakout. It's just a discoloration area on my face. Here, where I had that mole removed that's still healing, and kind of all around this area with my glasses and everything like that. But I think that the main thing that I can see through this is discoloration. It doesn't do a very good job of canceling out kind of dark spots, which is kind of what you're going for with a full coverage foundation, you know? Long day, guys. Long day at the office, and I feel like I'm wearing it all over my face. So I did a good job on my makeup today. I'm just gonna go ahead and say, like, I like how my makeup turned out regardless of the foundation, and so I felt pretty today. You know, I didn't feel the need to get really close to the mirror and examine like what was going wrong. But this just, you know, it's gone pretty much here. And I do a pretty good job of not touching my face, but it has just kind of depleted, and as it's depleted, it's left this kind of like a flaky gradient. And then here, let me see how close I can get here. There it is. That's why I have that lens. So that's where you can really see that it just uncouples. It becomes powder separate from whatever it was suspended in to begin with. I will say that also that concealer underperforms without the Onomie finishing spray. It just disappears the same way that it did when I wear tested it, and it didn't do that yesterday when I used that finishing spray. So yeah. I feel a lot better though that I went ahead and did the second day, because I didn't feel like yesterday gave a good review of either the foundation or the finishing spray. And now I know that separately the BURT'S foundation is okay. It performs kind of just like a drugstore foundation, you guys. And no shade, there are definitely amazing outperformers in the drugstore arena, but as these things go, this performs like a $16 foundation, okay? It kind of performs like a $12 foundation, if I'm being honest. If I were to choose something that was going to be matte, full coverage, and drugstore price, pretty much the exact same price, I would go with the Pacifica Light. I'm not sure how exactly, like down to the detail, the ingredients compare between the two of these, but this wears a lot more lightly on the face, and your makeup goes on really nicely on top of it, and it's fuller coverage. If I'm going for full coverage, girl, give me full coverage. Also, I don't know whether I can necessarily blame this foundation for this, but I've been wearing it for 2 days in a row, and I feel a cystic zit coming up underneath my nose right now. Like, Oh, it hurts so much. And I've grown a third eye as well. Can you see that where the light's hitting it? Yeah. Yep. You guys, my skin has been clear, clear, clear. Like, I've been beyond excited waking up every morning to how clear my skin has been, mainly because of the Drunk Elephant products, and I can't help but think, you know, it's the only variable that changed. So, it's not, you know, pure clean science, but I don't think I'm going to be wearing this foundation again. I just have a lot of other things that are in my repertoire that are better than this, even for the price, you know? So, like I said, if you're going for this look, I would go for the Pacifica Alight. It does a better job at oil control, and it does a better job at camouflaging dark spots. I will link, God, Khaki, please remember to link the video where I did the wear test of that down below. And guys, if there's a winner here today, I hope that that is an exhaustive review of these two products on Khaki Reviews Beauty. And I hope that you guys enjoyed it. If you did, give it a thumbs up. If you want to keep hanging out with me on this channel, hit the button down below and subscribe. I would love it if you guys did. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I love you so much. I'm going to go for a run and decompress from the garbage day of work I just had. It's only Monday. I love you guys, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.